Great. I'm going to lend my voice to the ongoing arguments, counter-argument, and discussions regarding two students, straight A students, I understand, that have been given admission in one of the prestigious high schools in Ghana, the Achimota school. And because they come from Rastafarian background, that means they wear dreadlocks, the school has denied them the initial acceptance or the initial admission to the school. And it's been a huge source of discussion, national discussion, about discrimination and all that kind of thing. So I'm just giving my 2 cents here. Basically, my first inclination is I blame the Rastafarian community in Ghana, and by extension the Rastafarian community in Africa. And I would explain why. I basically do not have issues with schools who have certain rules and certain regulations, right? If you have a school and you have rules and regulations, fine, more power to you. But my argument goes broader than schools regulations and schools rules. My theory or my thinking is, should the rules and regulations be there in this dispensation? If there's a rule that you have to trim your hair to a certain level or to a certain number of inches, right? Maybe that may have worked 50 years ago, 30 years ago, 100 years ago. Must it be in existence today? Right. So my argument goes way beyond what is naturally being discussed. Right. So there's one school of thought that says that the school is right to expel the kids based on the fact that they haven't agreed to trim their hair. And the other school of thought is saying that, oh, you are discriminating, you shouldn't be discriminating, blah blah blah. Right. Now, this is how I see it. For me, when I heard that there are Caucasians and other groups of students from other backgrounds that attend this same Achimota school, who are left to have their own long hair, blonde hair, brunette hair, whatever hair that they have, and they are allowed to go through the institution, and Rastafarians are denied. This is a red flag. If that is true, then Rastafarians have done themselves a very big disservice. I think the reason why Rastafarians are being treated this way with such, to me, is disrespect. It's Rastafarians don't control a lot of economic power in Ghana and in most African countries. I don't know. If you know of any Rastafarian that has built a multi-million-dollar business in Africa, put it in the comments. I would want to know. I would want to actually follow. I'll be very excited to see that. But in the absence of that, I do not see much major economic movement coming from the Rastafarian community. What I see from outside looking in is Rastafarians typically are known for the arts, so music and dance and art and color, African color and that kind of thing. But I don't see them engaging big time business that moves massive economic power. They don't have that. So let's juxtapose that into with let's say a community like the Sikh community in India. The Sikhs are everywhere. They are in every part of this world. You go to London, they are there. You go to Germany, France, everywhere, in the States, everywhere. But let's look at the Sikhs. They dress with the big turban on their head, and I understand they don't cut their hair. But because they have massive economic power, Sikhs are respected all over the world. So to me, the argument is not about cut your hair or don't cut your hair. The argument is Rastafarian community, you are not attracting a lot of respect. And this respect has to do with economic power. So if there is anything that will come out of this or this brouhaha that is going on, I think it's a blessing. It's a blessing in the sense that this should be a wake-up call. That your community, you come together and say, look, what I see groups of people, well-meaning people who are associated with marijuana use all the time. Yes, they love music, but I see a group of people who are laid back, very laid back lifestyle, that kind of thing. If you want respect, that respect must come from you translating your art, your creativity into economic power. And once, if we had 5 or 6 massive businesses in Ghana that employed, let's say, 1,000 people each in Ghana, this discussion will be over. Because then you could afford the best lawyers in town. Actually, even the headmaster or headmistress of Achimota school will think twice before they expel your kids. Right? And I'll say this, the other side in the school is that, look, I don't even know the genesis of Rastafarianism, but this is not new. In the Bible, Samson was a Nazarite, and as part of the covenant that God had with him and his family, razor was not supposed to touch his hair. So in this case, if Samson was a Ghanaian kid going to school, he would be denied education. Think about it for a moment. Samson single-handedly did more to defend his country than any person of his contemporary during his time. And yet, he was quote-unquote possibly a Rastafarian because razor never touched his hair until Delilah tricked him and got him to disclose the source of his strength. And that got him killed. Basically, his eyes were plucked out. As you read in scripture. So at Achimota school and any other school sitting there, can you sit there and swallow the fact that if Samson was born in your generation, he would be uneducated because of, to me, what I see as antiquated rules and regulation. I think these rules must be revised. I remember when I was bringing my kids to Ghana from the States, bringing them to Ghana to live with me to study, to have the education. One of the key issues I dealt with, Daddy, we know that, we've heard that in Ghana, if we go there, they will ask us to cut our hair. Are you going to take us to a school that they will ask us to cut our hair? I said, hell no, that's never going to happen. Because I don't see a correlation between a child's performance and hairstyle. I don't see it at all. My children grew up when they were in Texas and everything. Texas, they didn't even have a school uniform, let alone touching somebody's hair. You see kids from all walks of life wear anything that you as long as it's decent, and bring to school. Wear your trainers, whether your shorts or your trousers and your t-shirt or Lacoste or whatever that you wear. You go to school and you study. And frankly speaking, by the time these kids are 20, they are more confident than our African kids. They have more skill than our African kids that are having all the best grooming and the best, the trim. I don't know whether we're going for a contest to become all our children to become nuns or what. I don't even understand it. Right? But that should not be, for me, the basis for denying a child their right to education. That is wrong. If it's a law, laws are made by human beings. They need to be corrected. For me, I in my experience in Ghana, after hiring one or two people in some of the enterprises I've been involved, especially young people, I see 3 things. Kids with severe low self-esteem, okay, who are coming out of schools. Kids with seriously deficient work ethic. They don't have any, right? I see kids with serious lack of integrity issues. There are a few exceptions, or there are good exceptions here and there, but there's a trend. Kids with low skill, unemployable, you can't even employ them. Why are our schools not dealing with those very important issues? I want you to bring out a student who finishes school and is employable. I don't want a well-trained person who can do the job. I don't want a well-trained, well-nice, well-manicured student, well-presented who will steal from me. Right? I don't want that. I want somebody who is trained by this school, who will come out regardless of their appearance, who has integrity. right? And great skill or great attitude in this case is not indicated by the kind of hairstyle that you wear. Hairstyle and hair appearance is a bad indicator of whether a child or a kid has good attitude or good skills. To me, it's neither here nor there for me, right? A case in point. There was a time I living in Plano, Texas, and one of our friends, I think, had a close relative who was going to go for surgery. And this was a very serious surgery that the relative was going to go for. I think there was, I don't know, but the details are a bit scanty to me right now, but it was some kind of a serious organ surgery. And he told me there was a hospital, actually, there is Baylor Health System in Plano, Texas. It's a very major hospital network in Texas, Baylor Healthcare. So that's where the surgical operation was going to take place. And I remember he telling me that the relative, the surgery was kind of a touch and go kind of thing, that anything could happen, kind of surgery in terms of death. So it's like, wow, you're going in not knowing it could be this or it could be that. That's serious. Then he said, remember, there was one nurse that called them aside, that this surgery that your relative is going to do, I think they all attended the same church with the nurse. So this surgery that your relative is going to go for, if I were you, I would ask them to change my doctor, the doctor who's going to perform the surgery. And he said, oh, why? This doctor is a nice guy. He's always, we go there. He's very receptive. He's this, is that. He says, yes. And he said, okay, what doctor would you recommend? So this nurse kind of gave them an inside info that go for this other doctor. He said, oh, this other doctor looks very mean. He looks very shabbily dressed all the time. Blah, blah, blah. He's not very friendly. He's that. He said, yes, he's not very friendly. But when you look at his outcomes, based on the surgery that he's done, his outcomes are almost like 99%. That's that if he touches 100 patients, 99 of them survive out of that serious surgery. The other one who is so nice, so well groomed, so excellent, everything, his outcomes are 45%. Which one would you want? I say, hell no. I will take 99% every day, anyhow, any day. And that's actually what my friend, their family did. They changed, they switched. In this case, you don't know even the destiny of these kids. This kid could become that neurosurgeon that I just described. Let me put it this way, if the headmistress or the head of the PTA or the education board in Ghana, if any one of them were to go in for, God forbid, a surgery of that nature, and they are presented with a doctor who is dreadlocked, and a doctor who is well clean, well cut, well suited, and they tell you that the outcomes of that surgery, the one with the Rasta hair, he's 99%. The one with well-groomed is 30%. Which one of them? I want to ask them, which one of them will go with the clean-cut guy? I can bet all of them will want to go to the Rastafarian. So why do you deny a child education just because of their looks? Hey, look, I've seen a few things. I've seen kids on Instagram, even sometimes Facebook, TikTok, well clean, well cut, wearing uniform, everything. Girls in girls' dormitories, dancing and twerking competitions in school. This kid that you are denying education, this is how I look at it. I look at it from this point of view. He may have higher morals than any of those girls or girls with well-groomed hair. To me, it's not about hair. It's about the character of their soul. It is about who they are. And I end with this. If there's somebody watching, this will be a sweet outcome for me. If there's someone watching from, let's say, Stanford, NYU, Cornell, MIT, these big institutions, Yale, Princeton. I want you to put an eye on these guys, these Rasta guys that are being ignored here. I want them to actually go to school and become some of the best, because I hear they have fantastic grades. I would want to see they keeping their hair and going to a Yale, going to an MIT, going to Stanford, going to Cornell, right? Going to Caltech, and become some of the biggest and the best scientists the world over. And let's see if Ghana will be proud of them or not. I rest my case. Thank you.